Guys, this carrot cake is so moist. The cream cheese frosting is so decadent. It'll turn the non-believers into carrot cake eaters. First, we're gonna start with peeling and grating our carrots. I'm gonna use this crazy Vietnamese machete peeler. I actually think it's the only one we have in this house. My mom's buy. It's actually really sharp. So normally I get these carrots in the loose carrot section. These are actually some massive carrots. So you can buy the ones in the bags, but I just find this way you can really see what you're getting. I also normally gauge 1 carrot equals like 1 cup, just like casually. You can put as many or as little carrots as you want in your carrot cake. A dear friend of mine actually once told me that carrots don't belong in cake. We're gonna convert many with this recipe.
I'm using 3 jumbo carrots, but you can use 3 cups as a measurement.
That's good.
Now to line our rectangle pan. I'm using an 8 by 12 inch pan. Measure and trim the sides of the parchment paper to be the same height as the pan. Then flip your pan over and cut slits toward the corners of the pan, pinwheel style. Now for the batter. 1 cup of brown sugar. Check for lumps. 4 large eggs. Use a whisk to make sure the eggs and the sugar are really smooth. Then I add 1 cup of oil. I'm using vegetable oil. Finally, 3/4 of a cup of buttermilk. Now I'm going to sift in all the dry ingredients. 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon plus 1 teaspoon of nutmeg, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, and 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Mix it all up and then add your carrots, roughly 3 cups of them. Pour it into your baking pan and spread everything out nice and even.
Because we have such a large cake, what ends up happening sometimes is the edges cook faster than the center, and then the center ends up doming. So I have a trick for you guys before we head to the oven. If you have some dish towels or like a tea towel lying around, soak it in some water, wring out the water, and then we're gonna wrap the base of our pan with our towel. So essentially what it's doing is preventing the outside from cooking too fast, okay? So I'm just rolling up our tea towel and wrapping it around. If you think it's gonna burn in the oven, it won't. You don't have to worry about that. Our oven is now set to 340 degrees, so a little bit lower than normal baking temperature, but that's because the cake is so large and we want it to bake evenly. It's gonna bake for about 45, maybe even 50 minutes. Just check on it after the 30-minute point every 15 minutes or so. We're gonna start working on my famous cream cheese frosting. At every single party, it comes highly requested, and my fiance would like a 2-to-1 cream cheese frosting to cake ratio with everything. So you're gonna need a stand mixer for this portion. If you don't have a stand mixer, you can also use like a handheld beater.
First, we start with the buttercream component. 1 cup of room temperature butter. Cream it with the whisk attachment for a minute or so. Then we're adding half a block of vegetable shortening, about half a cup. Now I slowly add in our icing sugar. You'll be adding 3 cups total, but I only add about half right now. Keep scraping the sides down between. Once everything is looking fluffy, remove your buttercream from the bowl. Now it's time for our cream cheese. Switch to the paddle attachment if you like. We're adding what is equivalent to 2 blocks of cream cheese. It must be room temperature, but not too warm, definitely not cold. Now we're going to beat the cream cheese until it's super smooth. Then alternate between adding the buttercream and the rest of the powdered sugar. Make sure to scrape the sides down between additions. It's getting cream cheesy. Our cake is done. Use a toothpick to check if it's cooked all the way through. It should come out nice and clean. All right, this puppy has to cool all the way through. No one wants melted cream cheese frosting.
Our cake is completely cool now. You can throw it in the freezer to speed it up. You can throw it in the fridge, whatever you want. So we're gonna take it out, and because of the parchment paper, it's gonna be really easy. I'm just gonna hold one end and kind of like just slide this sucker out onto the sheet pan. Boop, super easy. How we're gonna present it is we're gonna be doing it on a board, and we're gonna do 2 layers, and it's gonna be nice and long, and it's gonna be like a really elegant way for you to present your cake. So it's looking really even thanks to our handy tea towel trick, but we are gonna shave maybe a little bit off just the center, and you can eyeball it. Remember, it's gonna be based on what your cake comes out looking like. After this, we are going to cut it in half. Just shaving a little bit off the top here. I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably gonna eat that later. Ooh, looks really moist inside. Just set that to the side. I'm gonna use a ruler to be precise since it's gonna go one on top of the other. So we have 22 centimeters here, so that's 11 in half. So I like to mark one end and then go to the other end and then mark 11 as well. And then slide my ruler right across the top here and just follow your ruler line. Really moist, gentle with the edges. We're gonna be presenting our cake on this nice, beautiful long board. I just find this is a really beautiful rustic way for you to present your cake. We'll make sure everything is loose off the bottom. All right. So we'll center it on the board here. You can clean up whatever edges you have going on after there. So our first layer of cream cheese frosting is gonna go down. I want it kind of peeking out of the edges. It's gonna give it like that rustic look. And I'll show you guys a trick I have for after your first layer goes down. So it looks like a lot of cream cheese, right? It's a lot of cream cheese. But we want it to be a nice layer. So I'm gonna go ahead and even it out, but I'm gonna leave it really rustic so you see it kind of peeking out. Okay, so this is a lot of cream cheese frosting. It's probably about 1/2 inch thick. If we were to put our other layer on top right now, it would kind of just like squeeze out the sides, and we don't want that. So we're gonna pop this puppy in the freezer for like 5 to 10 minutes. And with some YouTube magic, our cake is nice and chilled. The cream cheese frosting is just a little bit firm. It's been about like 10 to 15 minutes. We're gonna slide this one on top, but we're actually gonna flip it over, okay? That's gonna help with creating like a nice even layer. Also want the cut side to match the cut side on this side. That way you get a nice beauty shot. So I'm just gonna flip it over onto the side. So we're going to place as centered as possible, but it's okay if it's not. We'll shimmy it around a little bit. It looks pretty good. Okay, we're gonna go with the final layer of cream cheese frosting on the top. This one, you can create a little bit more of a design. You can go heavier, you can go lighter. 'Tis your choice. I think someone wants me to go heavier on it. So first I spread out a really even layer. But because we're doing like a naked look, we can really look naked. Okay, so how I like to finish it is I like to do a little bit of a swirl design on the top, but you can do whatever you like. So all I do is I use my offset spatula and I move back and forth so it kind of creates like some waves and some divots. And that is our carrot cake. It looks so good. I'm gonna cut a nice slice out of it and try it. Oh yeah. How should we do this? Ooh. Time for tasting. It is so beautiful. You can see the little specks of the carrot. Oh, smells nice and spiced. Ready. Should we do a nice big bite? Oh my gosh. Super moist. Not too spiced, but you get the cinnamon, you get the nutmeg, cream cheese frosting, smooth, very cream cheesy. This is a good carrot cake.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and eat cake. I am the Bake Boss.